Honeywell is a large multinational company that operates in various industries. Honeywell International offers a wide range of products, including aircraft engines, automation and control systems, specialty chemicals, and personal protective equipment. The company has a long history dating back to the early 1900s and has been involved in many pioneering technologies and innovations. To get hired at Honeywell, candidates may need skills in engineering, manufacturing, research and development, project management, and other related fields, depending on the specific job role. Salary ranges and benefits can vary depending upon the position, location, and experience, but generally, Honeywell offers competitive compensation, health and wellness programs, retirement plans, paid time off, and opportunities for career growth. Hi there, this is Vadim from Online Training for Everyone, and in this video, you will have everything you need to get prepared and pass an assessment test. Make sure to watch this video from the beginning to end, and if necessary, multiple times until you understand all the questions and know how to solve them easily. If this video was helpful and you decide to give this video a like, you will help YouTube algorithm to recommend it to others, and we would greatly appreciate it. And if you choose to subscribe to Online Training for Everyone, you will find relevant videos to help you get ahead in your career and will be able to improve your intelligence, IQ, and get ready and pass any test. One important note: if you would like to practice with the most recent questions for this particular assessment, make sure to check the links in the descriptions and in comments of this video to know about the premium options to get you prepared. And now let's go ahead and get started so we can get you ready for the assessment test. Here's a tricky problem which some might find challenging, but you, being a subscriber to this channel, will solve very easily. You're presented with 3 expressions. Each expression is of a different color. And one of the items in the third expression, which represented by the blue color, is missing. You need to select the missing item, which is currently question mark, out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Consider pausing this video to see if you need more time to find the solution. On my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve any challenge, the key is to find the pattern, and this question is no exception. The pattern here is rather unusual, but it still exists. And the pattern here is that there are 3 core shapes represented by objects in the first column. The core objects here are arrow pointing up, star, and the circle. And all remaining objects are just the variations which is created by merging core objects into another object. Let me demonstrate by starting with the red sequence. Red sequence is created by starting with arrow, merging arrow with the star, and then merging the result with the circle. Yellow expression is created by starting with the star, merging it with the circle, and then merging the result with the arrow. And last but not least, blue sequence starts with the circle, completes the merger with the star, and then missing item can be created by doing another merger with the arrow. As you might have noticed, the objects here presented as expressions instead of being a sequence. There's no other reason to do it than just to confuse you. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please post your ideas, solution, and rationale in comments. Here's an example of question some people might find challenging, but I'm pretty sure you, being a subscriber to this channel, will solve very easily. You're presented with the 8 sets of coins, and the 9th set is missing. You need to find and select the missing set out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. This problem is easier to solve than you think. The key is not to overthink it, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve this challenge, we need to calculate the pattern based on the 2 rows, let's call them row 1 and row 2, that do not have any missing items. One of the elements of the pattern here is that each row represents a standalone calculation. And if you count the coins in each row, you see that the number of coins decrements by 1 for each set when you go from left to right. Let's look at the specific example, and to make it easier, let's assign letters to each column in the set. We will have columns A, B, and C. Let's look at the first set in the row 1. When we start with the area A1, we have 10 coins. As we move to area B1, we have 9 coins. In the area C1, we only have 8 coins. So you see, this is how decrement by 1 works. Let's verify and confirm this pattern in the row 2. In the area A2, we have 5 coins. Then in B2, we have 4 coins. And in area C2, we only have 3 coins. But as you might have guessed, this is not the only pattern present here. To calculate next set from the previous set, we need to subtract lowest and rightmost coin from the previous set. Let's look at the example. In the set A1, the lowest and the rightmost coin is coin number 10. Then we go to set B1, and there is another coin that we're subtracting to calculate the set C1. Based on this information, let's calculate the final number. As we know, the first part of the pattern, the number of coins is decreasing. So from the first set, which has 6 coins, it goes to the second set in column B, which has 5 coins. We know that the final answer will have 4 coins. If we look at the possible answer, choices A, B, and D have 4 coins. So which one would you select? I think the right answer is choice B, because this answer is calculated by subtracting the lowest and rightmost coin from the previous set. So from my standpoint, the correct answer is choice B. Did you come up with the different answer? Please make sure to post your solution and rationale in comments. Here's another tricky problem which tests your critical thinking and analytical skills. You're presented with 8 objects, and object number 9 is missing. You need to find the pattern and select the 9th object out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Are you ready? I'm pretty sure that by now you've identified the correct object, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. What's interesting about this problem is that the objects that we see here form groups based on the color. And there are 3 groups present: the group for red objects, the group for yellow objects, and the group for green objects. Red and yellow groups are complete, but the green group is missing the object. You would argue that this doesn't help us much, because all 4 choices, choices A, B, C, and D, they all have green objects as a sample. But this helps us to detect the pattern in the complete groups. If you look closely, you will see that objects in the red group and in yellow groups, they all have the same number of sides. For example, all 3 objects in the red group have 4 sides. Objects in the yellow group have 5 sides, which means that object in the green group should have 6 sides, because 2 presented green objects have 6 sides. And the only object which is green and has 6 sides is choice A. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your solution and rationale in comments. Here's an amazing question with the answer that will definitely surprise you. You're presented with the circle broken down into the 8 parts. Each part has letters inside, and letters are O, S, then comes the missing letter, T, another missing letter, O, another missing letter, and ends in P. You need to complete the object by selecting the choice of 3 grouped letters. Choice A is represented by letters I, E. Choice B is represented by letters T, N. Choice C is represented by letters E, N. And last but not least, choice D is formed by the letters of I, N. Take a close look to see if you can complete the object. I'm going to give you a quick hint to help you solve it. Take a close look what happens if you move clockwise. I'm pretty sure you are by now, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. What's interesting about this question is how amazingly simple the solution is. If we start with the letter P, we can form a word position. Let me spell it for you. P-O-S-I-T-I-O-N. Let me pinpoint 3 considerations. that will help you solve these types of problems on the test. When you look at the question is complete the object, and letters are the choices, which most of the time would mean that you need to form the word. Circle shape on the original question mimics the clock, which a lot of times mean that you need to select the direction, which could be clockwise or counterclockwise. To solve these types of challenges, you typically need to look at consecutive letters that are already present. So the 3 consecutive letters that are present are POS, which would kick off your thinking about the word position. As you might have guessed by now, the correct choice here is choice D, letters IIN, which help you to form the word position. Did you come up with the different answer? Or maybe you have other tips on how to solve these types of challenges? Please make sure to post in comments. I love this question because ChatGPT cannot solve it, but you as a subscriber to this channel will be able to solve it easily. It takes 5 minutes for Abraham to run 1,000 meters. Abraham runs twice as fast as Christian. Assuming the performance of the players remains constant, by how much will Abraham beat Christian in a 1,000-meter race? You need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 100 meters. Choice B, 200 meters. Choice C, 500 meters. And last but not least, choice D, 1,000 meters. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. As usual, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer, and then we will try ChatGPT to see how well the artificial intelligence will be able to solve the challenge. The solution to this challenge is very simple. Because Abraham runs twice as fast as Christian, when Abraham will reach the finish line, Christian will run half of the distance, which would be 500 meters. So the correct answer here is choice D, 500 meters. We will use ChatGPT prompt, solve the problem, and provide detailed answers and explanations. And we will use the same problem as we just solved. When ChatGPT solves the problem, it provides the facts and it provides detailed explanations of the logic and rationale of how it solves the problem. And at the end, ChatGPT provides the solution. So let's read this conclusion. Both Abraham and Christian cover the same distance of 1,000 meters. Therefore, Abraham beats Christians by 0 meters. So the conclusion is that Abraham will not beat Christian by any meters in a race of 1,000 meters, because both will cover the same distance. Now let's analyze ChatGPT's answer. Even though the question asks about beating an opponent in the race of 1,000 meters, ChatGPT assumed that the challenge is whether both players will finish the race at all. This is why ChatGPT's answer is built with the assumption that even though Christian will only complete half the distance when Abraham is done, Christian will continue to run until the end. And because they both will cover the same distance, no participant will beat each other. Would you agree with this answer? Please post your logic, solution, and rationale in comments. And make sure to try this answer with ChatGPT to see what kind of solution you will get. Here's the very interesting question, which tests your ability to find solutions to unusual problems. You're presented with 4 expressions. And in 4th expression, the result of the expression is missing. Let's look at each expression closely. The first expression is 4 plus 2 equals 26. Something's definitely going on with this expression here. Second one is 8 plus 1 equals 79. Same thing here. And the third one is 6 plus 5 equals 111. In 4th expression, 7 plus 3, you need to find the result, which is presented as the missing number represented by question mark. And you have 4 choices to select from. Choice A, 608. Choice B, 410. Choice C, 290. And last but not least, choice D, 375. Take a close look to this unusual set of expressions to see if you can come up with the solution. Are you ready? Let me give you a quick hint. What if you introduce into this set of expressions not just the plus sign, but also a minus sign? Would that make any difference? I hope the hint was helpful because I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have figured out, we are not dealing with typical math expressions here, because the pattern here is that the last 2 digits are calculated based on the 2 expressions, subtraction and addition. Let's look at the example. The first expression is presented to us as 4 plus 2 equals 26. But numbers in 26 are calculated differently. For example, first number 2 is calculated as 4 minus 2. This is where I gave you a hint of using not just the plus sign, but also look at the minus sign. And the second digit in 26, which is 6, is calculated as 4 plus 2 equals 6. Now let's look at the second expression. Second expression's result is calculated as 8 minus 1 equals 7, and then 8 plus 1 equals 9. The third expression is 6 minus 5 is 1, and 6 plus 5 is 11. That's where we get a 3-digit number, 111. And now we can calculate the final fourth expression, which is calculated as 7 minus 3, so the first digit would be 4. And then we calculate it as 7 plus 3, which would be 10. So the correct answer here is choice B, 410. Did you figure it out? Or did you find a different solution? Please make sure to share your solution and rationale in comments. I love this challenge because it tests your analytical skills and spatial reasoning skills so well. You need to find the resulting shape after the transformations. You're presented with the square that consists of different triangles of a different color. And you need to turn the original shape 90-degree clockwise 3 times. You have 4 different choices to select the shape after the transformations. Choice A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can calculate the final solution. Did you figure it out? Because I am moving forward to share with you my version and my way of solving it. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve this challenge, you need to mentally turn the original shape 90 degrees 3 times. This is not easy to do because our brain is not really designed for this. But if we take one of the triangles and try to follow this triangle by turning the original square, this task might be much easier to accomplish. The caveat here is that we need to select triangles that are not symmetrical on both sides. For example, red triangles are symmetrical. You see red triangles on the left and red triangles on the right. And if we try to follow it, it would be extremely hard to detect where the red triangle will end up. But if we take green triangles, any one of them, or yellow triangles, they're much easier to follow. So let's do the turning. Let's take the original square and I am going to follow the green triangle on the left. Let's do the first turn 90 degrees. You see that the green triangle ended up on the top. Let's do another turn. We follow the same green triangle and now it's on the right side. And the last 90-degree turn, our green triangle ended up at the bottom. So the correct choice here is choice A, where green triangle ended up on the bottom. Do you have a better way to solve it? Or maybe did you come up with a different solution? Please make sure to post your thoughts and rationale in comments. Here's a very interesting question where answer is absolutely not obvious. You're presented with interestingly looking shapes. On top of the shape is triangle. On the bottom left and on the bottom right, there are squares. There are numbers inside the triangle, and there are also numbers inside the squares. Let's take a close look. The first object has number 5 inside the triangle, and number 3 in the left square, and number 17 in the right square. Second object has number 4 inside the triangle, and numbers 5 and 22 inside the squares. The third object has number 3 inside the square, and numbers 8 and 26 inside the squares. The fourth object has number 2 inside of the triangle, number 7 in the left square, and then comes the missing number inside the right square. And did I mention that all objects are of different colors? If we go from left to right, we start with red on the left, next goes light blue, yellow, and then darker blue. And obviously you're the one who needs to make sense out of it and calculate the missing number. Once calculated, select the final answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 14. Choice B, 25. Choice C, 16. And last but not least, choice D, 20. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Are you ready? Because on my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. If you're a frequent visitor to this channel, or even better if you're a subscriber, you probably know that the key to solving these types of challenges is to understand the pattern. And the pattern here is that the number in the right square is calculated. and it's calculated by multiplying the number inside of the triangle onto the left square number. And on top of this multiplication, you also add 2 to the end result of the calculation. Let's look at the example. If we multiply 5 by 3 in the first object, the end result of this calculation would be 15. Then we add 2 to 15, and that's how we get to the number in the right square, which is 17. Let's look at the second example. 4 multiplied by 5 equals 20, plus 2 equals 22. Now let's move to the third object. 3 multiplied by 8 is 24, plus 2 equals 26. And now comes the missing number. To calculate it, we need to multiply 2 by 7, which would be equal to 14, and then add 2, and end result of this would be 16. So the correct answer here is choice C, 16. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Here's a very interesting question where you need to calculate the missing number. You're presented with 4 circles. Each circle is of a different color. The first circle has number 1 inside of it. Second circle has number 2. Third circle has number 5 inside. And last circle has the missing number represented by the question mark. You need to calculate and select final answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 24. Choice B, 26. Choice C, 16. And last but not least, choice D, 20. Take a close look to see if you can calculate the final answer. Are you ready? I hope you found the answer because it's so easy to calculate. Let's move forward so I can share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I keep repeating myself when I say that finding pattern is the key to solve this challenge. And the pattern here is that the next number is calculated as a square value of the previous number plus 1. Let's look at the example. The first number is given, which is 1. Second number is calculated as 1 square plus 1 and equals 2. The third number is calculated as 2 square plus 1 and equals 5, which means that the missing number is calculated as 5 square, which would be equal to 25, plus 1, which would be equal to 26. So the correct answer here is choice B, 26. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. By solving this question, we'll boost your IQ and intelligence. You're presented with 3 sets of stars. Each set is a different color. Underneath of each set, there are numbers. The first set has a number 24, second set has a number 64, and the third set has a missing number represented by the question mark, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 75. Choice B, 96. Choice C, 156. And last but not least, choice D, 192. Take a close look to see if you can answer the question. This question is actually very simple, and I'm pretty sure you're done by now. So I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, the number is calculated based on the number of tips of the stars and number of sides of the diamonds available in each object. Let's look at the example. The first set of blue stars has 6 tips. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And it only has 1 diamond, which is represented by 4 sides. 6 multiplied by 4 equals 24. Can you do the calculations for the second set? I'm here to help you. Let's count the tips. We have 8 tips on the purple stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we have 8 sides of the diamonds because there are 2 diamonds there. 8 multiplied by 8 equals 64. That's how the number was calculated. Let's do the calculations for the missing number. We have 12 tips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which are represented by 16 sides. 12 multiplied by 16 equals 192, which is represented by choice D. So the correct answer here is choice D, 192. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. There's no better question to boost your IQ and brain power. You're presented with 3 expressions, and you need to find the missing item in the third expression. The first expression is B plus D equals F. The second expression is Z minus W equals C. And the third expression is D multiplied by E equals missing item. And you need to find and select the missing item out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, T. Choice B, S. Choice C, U. And last but not least, choice D, I. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the missing item. I'm going to give you a quick hint here. To solve this challenge, you need to know English alphabet. But it's one of the simplest alphabets available with only 26 letters. Are you ready? Let's move forward, so I'll share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve this challenge, you really need to have a good understanding of English alphabet. And not just the alphabet, but also analytically understand that you can assign a number for each letter of the alphabet. I already mentioned that there are 26 letters in English alphabet, and this is probably one of the first things you study when you study English. So the letters would be A, B, C, D, and so on. And you can go forward, and for each letter, you can assign the number. For example, letter A will get associated with number 1. Letter B will be associated with number 2. C with 3, D with 4, E with 5, and you can continue up to the letter Z, which would be associated with number 26. With this cross-reference, let's see if we can get a better conversion between letters and numbers. For example, expression B plus D equals F, in reality, after conversion, would be 2 plus 4 equals 6, which makes mathematical sense. Let's look at the second one. Z minus W equals C would in reality be equal 26, which is the number associated with letter Z, minus 23, which is the number associated with letter W, which would be equal to 3. So the last expression, D multiplied by E, in reality would be equal 4 multiplied by 5, and would be equal to 20, which is associated with the letter T. So the correct answer here is choice A, T. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. Here's an interesting cognitive abilities test question to see how well you can deal with abstract concepts. You're presented with 3 expressions. In each expression, there are shapes and numbers. The first expression is triangle plus triangle equals 6. The second expression is circle plus circle plus circle equals 12. And the third expression is where you have triangle plus circle, and you need to calculate the end result of this calculation. Once calculated, you need to select the answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 5. Choice B, 7. Choice C, 9. And last but not least, choice D, 11. Take a close look to see if you can complete the calculations. Are you ready? Let me share with you my version of the answer here, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I mentioned abstract reasoning concepts because you need to associate each shape with the number. For example, in the first expression, we have one triangle plus second triangle equals 6. Both triangles are the same, which means that the one triangle's number can be calculated and associated with number 3. We can do similar math with the circles. 3 circles equal 12, which means that one circle would be equal to 4. So triangle equals 3, circle equals to 4, and triangle plus circle would be equal to 7. So the correct answer here is choice B, 7. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. I enjoy solving pattern questions because they're so easy to understand, but sometimes not so easy to solve. We're presented with the sequence of numbers, and we need to find the missing number, which is the next in the sequence. The numbers are 25, 20, 16, 13, 11, and then comes the missing number. You need to calculate the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Choice A is 8, choice B is 10, choice C is 7, and choice D is 9. Take a close look to see if you can do the calculations and come up with the solution for the missing number. It looks confusing, isn't it? But believe me, there's a hope at the end of the tunnel. And I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Here we have a concept of decrement. And the pattern is that the next number is calculated as previous number minus decrement. And decrement increases by 1 with each number in the sequence. Let's take a close look. Our first number in the sequence is 25, and our first initial decrement is minus 5. 25 minus 5 equals 20, and this is how we come to the second number. Then we decrease decrement by 1, and the decrement becomes minus 4. 20 minus 4 equals 16. 16 minus 3 equals 13. 13 minus 2 equals 11, and 11 minus 1 equals 10. So the correct answer here is choice B, 10. Was your answer different? Please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments then, so we can all learn. This is one of my favorite questions just because it's so unusual, but the answer here is very simple. You're presented with the set of 8 circles. 6 of these circles are visible, and you need to select 2 missing ones. You have 4 different choices to find the missing circles. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Ready or not, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To answer this question, we need to detect the pattern. And the pattern here is very simple. Each circle is broken down into sections, with darker sections and lighter sections. And if you look closely, you will see that all circles are grouped in pairs. And the pattern is hidden in the sequence for circle pairs, with each subsequent pair being similar to the previous one. Let's take a close look. To better understand the pattern, let's give each circle a unique number. If we start with the top row of circles, the numbers would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and the bottom row circles will have numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8, with 7 and 8 being our missing pair. If you look closely at the circle 1, you will see that there is a dark section at the 2 o'clock. And circle 2 has 2 dark sections, one at noon and another one is at 2 o'clock. Similar pattern you see in circles 3 and 4, and then circles 5 and 6 also mimic the same pattern. Looking at possible answers, you see the choices A, B, C do not meet this pattern, and the only right answer that fits the pattern is choice D. Hopefully you've got to the same conclusion, and if you didn't, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Here's a puzzling question for you, but I have full confidence that you can solve it quickly. You're presented with 4x4 matrix, and the numbers are, starting in the upper left corner, 9, 8, 3, 4. The second row numbers are 2, 9, 2, and then comes the missing number. The third row starts with 4, 6, 2, 0. And last but not least row is 7, 6, 2, and 6. You need to calculate the missing number, and you have 4 different choices to select from. Choice A, 2. Choice B, 5. Choice C, 6. And last but not least, choice D, 7. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Did you get to the right answer? I hope you did, because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. You're probably tired of hearing this on this channel, but to solve these types of challenges, you need to detect the pattern. And the pattern here is that the last 2 digits are equal to the sum of the first 2 digits multiplied by 2. Let's look at the example. The first row contains numbers 9, 8, 3, 4. And the expression here is that 9 plus 8 in parentheses multiplied by 2 equals 34. Based on this logic, the third number would be 4 plus 6 in parentheses multiplied by 2, which would be equal to 20, which represents the set of numbers 4, 6, and then 20. And then the last row would be 7 plus 6 in parentheses multiplied by 2, which would be 13 multiplied by 2, which would be equal to 26. So the missing number would be calculated as 2 plus 9 multiplied by 2 equals 22. So the correct answer here is choice A, 2. Did you get to the same answer? If you didn't, or maybe you got to a different answer, please make sure to post your version in comments. Here's an amazing problem where you need to exercise your brain and cognitive skills by calculating not just one number, but 2 numbers. You're presented with the scale, and you see that the value of diamond as well as the sum values are missing. And you need to ensure that scale remains balanced by calculating the value of the diamond as well as the sum. And once you've done with your calculations, you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, values 18 and 96. Choice B, values 12 and 88. Choice C, values 20 and 92. And last but not least, choice D, values 19 and 94. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can complete the calculations. On my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the calculations. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve this challenge, let's look at the picture closely to better understand what we're dealing with. We're presented with the multi-tier scale, and this scale has 4 tiers: Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4. Scale remains in balance because values on the left side and on the right side are equal, and the values are represented by the total of numbers inside of each shape. For example, circle has number 12, hexagon has number 6, triangle has number 3, and square has number 4. Let's look closely at Tier 3 to better understand how this tier remains in balance. As I already mentioned, each tier remains in balance because the numbers are equal on both sides. So on the left of the Tier 3, we have 2 hexagons with total value of 12. On the right of the Tier 3, we have hexagon, which equals number 6, plus 2 triangles, 3 plus 3. So on both sides, the total value is 12. This is why Tier 3 remains in balance. Now let's look closely at the Tier 2. On the left of the Tier 2, we have 2 circles. Each circle has a value of 12. 2 circles would be equal 24. On the left of the Tier 2, we have 2 circles with total value of 24, and the entire Tier 3, which also equals 24. This what keeps Tier 2 in balance. Now, knowing this logic, we can calculate the missing value on Tier 4. Because Tier 4 needs to remain in balance, the value of 12 plus 6 should be equal to the missing value, which means that the missing value is 18. And the total sum will be calculated as the sum of all the numbers. The sum of Tier 2 and Tier 3 would be 24 plus 24 plus 48 on the right side of Tier 1, which would equal 96. So the correct answer here is choice A, 18 and 96. Did you get to the different answer? Please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Here's one of my favorite questions where you need to look at the image and calculate the missing number. You're presented with 4 triangles. One triangle in the middle is larger than the others, and it has number 3 inside. There are 3 other triangles at the tips of the big triangle. The numbers inside those smaller triangles, if we start with the bottom right triangle, are 5, 9, and then comes the missing number, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 13. Choice B, 15. Choice C, 17. And last but not least, choice D, 21. Take a close look to see if you can complete the calculations and make the right choice. Did you figure it out? I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. If you are a frequent visitor to this channel, you know the rule. And the rule is to complete the calculations and solve the challenge, you need to understand the pattern. And the pattern here is very simple. It's a counterclockwise navigations when you do the calculations. You start with the smallest number 3, and then calculate number 5, calculate number 9, and then calculate the missing number. In this pattern, to calculate the next number in the sequence, you need to double the previous number and subtract 1. Let's look at the example. The first number is 3. To calculate the next number, we need to add 3 plus 3, then subtract 1, and the end result of this is 5. Let's go to the next number. 5 plus 5 minus 1 equals 9. That's how we got the number on top in the small triangle. And now let's calculate the missing number. 9 plus 9 minus 1 equals 17. So the correct answer here is choice C, 17. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your rationale and solution in comments. Here's one of those types of questions where if you are a frequent viewer in this channel, or maybe even a subscriber, you will be able to solve easily. You're presented with 3 patterns: 1 by 2 plus 3, 2 multiplied by 3 plus 4, 3 multiplied by 4 plus 5, and then comes the missing pattern you need to detect and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 3 by 5 plus 4. Choice B, 4 by 5 plus 6. Choice C, 1 by 3 plus 4. And last but not least, choice D, 5 multiplied by 2 plus 3. Take a close look to see if you can detect the pattern. Are you ready? The key is not to overthink this problem. And to detect the pattern, you need to look at the number in the left column. If you look closely, you will see that the numbers in the left column are 1, 2, and 3, which means that the next number in the sequence should be number 4. If you look closely, you will see that the numbers in expression increment by 1 with each math operation, so that the number in the final expression would be 4 multiplied by 5 plus 6, which matches the choice B. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer, solution, and rationale in comments. Here's the very interesting question, which is frequently used to test your analytical reasoning and spatial reasoning. You're presented with the set of objects, and you need to find the missing item. The set of objects consists of 3 rows. In the first row, you see the pigeon, arrow, and then the pigeon again. In the second row, you see the flower, arrow, and then the flower again. Then in the third row, you see the car, the arrow, and then comes the missing item. You need to select the missing item out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. If you can't figure it out, consider pausing this video to see if you can get to the answer. Are you ready? I am moving forward to share with you my version and my rationale for the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, or if you have a better explanation, please make sure to post in comments. The actual answer to the question is very simple, but the question was designed to confuse you. The objects that you see on the left of the arrow and on the right of the arrow are reflections of each other. What's interesting here is that the objects are mirror images reflected either horizontally or vertically. You determine the axis of reflection based not on the direction of the arrow, but based on the direction which is rotated 90 degrees to the direction actually shown. Let's look at the actual example. Because the direction of the first arrow in the first row goes from top to bottom, the pigeon actually is reflected horizontally, not vertically. And to get to the correct answer, you need to rotate the pigeon 180 degrees. Let's look at the second object. We see the flowers with the yellow flower being on the left. And once we do the conversion, basically vertical reflection, because the arrow goes from left to right, we see that the yellow flower is now on the right. So the pattern here is that the arrow points to perpendicular direction of the actual reflection. For example, vertical direction of the arrow results in horizontal reflection and vice versa. Let's look at the third row to get to the correct answer. Because arrow goes from top to bottom, we need to use horizontal reflection, which means that the correct answer here is choice A. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. Are you ready to test your English verbal reasoning skills? Here's the question where you need to build English business word using 9 letters on the screen. The letters are K, M, N, A, E, I, G, R, T. The key condition here is that you need to use each letter only once. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the word. Do you think you need more time? I'm gonna give you a quick hint. The word represents the process of identifying, anticipating, and satisfying customer needs and wants through the creation, promotion, and distribution of goods and services. Do you know it? I'm pretty sure you figured it out by now. The answer is marketing. Marketing involves understanding of customer behavior, market research, product development, pricing strategies, advertising and promotions, sales and distribution. Do you see any other conditions that would meet the criteria? Please make sure to post your answer in comments. Here's an amazing question to test your spatial reasoning. You're presented with the 3-dimensional view, and you need to select view from the opposite side out of 4 possible choices. The choices are A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can select the right solution. Please look closely, as it may not be as easy as it seems. Are you ready? Because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And if you have a better way to solve it, obviously please make sure to post in comments. If your answer to this question was choice C, you answered it correctly. There are 4 objects on the original 3-dimensional image. We have a duck, we have a basketball, we have a smartphone, and we have a hammer, which is barely noticeable on the original picture. And the easiest way to solve this challenge is to select one object and track it on the opposite side. I selected a duck, but you can as well select a hammer or a smartphone. It is a little bit harder with the ball because it's in the middle and it's a symmetrical object. So let's go back to the duck. If you look at the original image, you see that the duck is looking to the left, and it is on the left side of the ball. Which means that if we look from the opposite side, the duck will be looking to the right and would be on the right side of the ball. We frequently see these types of questions on the test, so to help you solve these types of challenges, here are the views of these objects from different sides. Take a look at these objects from the right, from the left side, and take a look at this set of objects when duck and the ball have changed the position. I wanted to ask you, did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments, as well as you can supplement it with some tips on how to solve these types of challenges. And now I have a surprise question for you. You're presented with the maze, which misses one section. You need to complete the maze by selecting one out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can find the missing piece. And once ready, make sure to post your answer in comments so I can share with you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here's the quick question to keep you sharp and test your math skills. Bicyclists are traveling at the speed of 36 miles per hour. How long will it take them to travel the distance of 300 miles? You need to find out approximate value and select one of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 8 hours. Choice B, 10 hours. Choice C, 12 hours. And choice D, 14 hours. Take a close look to see if you know the answer. Let me give you a quick hint to help you. Total distance is calculated as speed multiplied by the number of hours. I hope it was helpful because I am moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. My answer is A, 8 hours. And here's why. To calculate the number of hours, we need to divide distance by speed. And 300 divided by 36 equals 8.33 hours, approximately 8 hours. That's why I got the answer A, 8 hours. Did you get a different answer? Please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. I love this question because the answer represents such a powerful business concept. You're presented with 10 letters, and you need to build English business word by using each letter only once. The letters are N, I-N, A-V-O, and I-T-O. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. I am going to give you a quick hint. The word refers to the process of introducing new ideas, products, services, or processes that add value to society, the economy, or organizations. Did you figure it out? I hope the hint was helpful because I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And if you have a better way to solve it, as usual, please make sure to post in comments. My answer is innovation, and the word is spelled as I-N-N-O-V-A-T-I-O-N. What's interesting is that innovation involves combining creativity, technology, and practicality to develop new solutions that meet people's needs and address emerging challenges. Innovation is also crucial for the growth and development of the businesses, economies, and societies, and it drives competitiveness, productivity, and progress. Let's look at the examples of the most recent consumer innovations. Number 1 is streaming services. The popularity of streaming services such as Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus disrupted the traditional TV industry by offering on-demand access to the vast library of movies and TV shows. The fact that I can broadcast my videos and share them with you directly is also part of streaming services innovation. The next one on my list is electric cars. The development of electric cars by companies such as Tesla, Nissan, and Chevrolet has provided consumers with a more sustainable and energy-efficient alternative to traditional gasoline-powered vehicles. Another example of recent innovation is wearable technology. The emergence of wearable technologies such as smartwatches, fitness trackers, and virtual reality headsets had powered people to track their health and fitness, stay connected, and experience immersive digital content. We also recently enjoyed innovation of online marketplaces. Companies such as Amazon, eBay, and Etsy revolutionized the way people shop by providing them with vast selection of products, competitive prices, and fast delivery options. And last but not least on my list is the smart home technology. The rise of smart home technology allowed people to control and automate various aspects of their homes, from lighting and temperature to security and entertainment, using voice commands and mobile apps. Do you know any other examples of recent innovations? Please make sure to share them in comments so we can all learn. Here's an amazing question to test your English business vocabulary. You need to build English business word using all the letters presented on the screen, and you only need to use each letter once. The letters are GOI, SLT, ICS. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Because I want you to succeed so much, I'm going to give you a quick hint. The word represents the process of planning, implementing, and controlling the movements of storage of goods or materials from the point of origin to the point of consumption. Did you figure it out? I'm going to move forward and share with you my version of the answer. But if you have a better way or alternative way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The answer is logistics. The word is spelled as LOGISTICS. To get better at solving these types of challenges, try to visualize the word and try different combinations. For example, if you look at original 9 letters, you will see that if we start from the middle, you can start building the word LOG, and then you build the remainder of the word to get to the correct answer. Do you have any other tips, tricks, or techniques that can help you solve these types of challenges? Please make sure to post them in comments. Here's one of my favorite questions, which tests your spatial reasoning skills. Imagine yourself as a maze designer, and you're building a maze that consists of 6 pieces. 5 pieces are in place, and you need to design the 6th piece. You can select the final piece out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the right solution. Keep in mind, I'm gonna give you a hint, that every maze should have an entry point as well as the exit point. Are you ready? I am moving forward because I can't wait, and I'm going to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, the correct answer here is choice A. But why? To build the correct maze, missing shape has to match and continue the lines, as well as provide the continuity for the maze's pathways, as well as exit and entry points. Once we put shape A in place, you can see that we can continue the pathway from top to the bottom, and then continue the horizontal pathways from left to right on both middle pathway, as well as the most bottom pathway. You can also see that built maze has the entry point on the top left as well as the exit point on the bottom right, even though they could be used interchangeably. To verify that we found the correct solution, let's look at the choices B, C, and D to make sure that they're incorrect. Let's start with choice B. If we place it, it doesn't meet all the conditions. Same with choices C and choice D. They either do not continue the lines or do not provide entry and exit points into the maze. Have you ever dealt with the money tree? Well, now it's your opportunity. And it's your opportunity to check your attention to details. You're presented with the money tree making enterprise. And you need to calculate the total value of money that you see in the picture. What's interesting here is that each coin is 1 cent. And each bill equals $1. You need to identify all coins and all bills and count the total value. Once you complete the calculations, please select one out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, $10.18. Choice B, $12.09. Choice C, $15.15. And last but not least, choice D, $18.07. Take a close look to see if you can complete the calculations. I think the correct answer here is choice A, $10.18. And here's why. I counted $10 in the picture. Let's start with the top of the money tree. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the right, we see another group of the dollar bills. There are $5 there. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we see the hard-to-notice dollar bill on the top of the flower pot. Now let's count the coins. We see 9 coins to the right of the flower pot. Then we see 8 coins coming out of the watering can. And then there is 1 coin on top of the watering can, which is easy to miss. Did you get to the same answer? Choice A, $10.18? If you didn't, please make sure to post your answer and whatever other coins or dollar bills I missed in comments. And now I have a surprise question for you. You're presented with 3x3 matrix which contains evergreen trees, numbers, and a missing number represented by the question mark. You need to calculate the question mark and select the right answer out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, which is represented by number 2, B, number 7, C, number 3, and D, number 4. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the answer. Once ready, make sure to post your answer in comments so I can share with you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here's a very interesting question where you're presented with 7 words and you need to determine the last word in a sentence. The words are profit, companies, exceeded, expectations, last, quarter, and the. You need to arrange the words into a coherent sentence and determine the last word in the sentence. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Ready or not, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer, and if you have a different solution, please make sure to post in comments. The answer is F, quarter, and we get to the correct answer by building a sentence. The company's profit exceeded expectations last quarter. The last word in this sentence is quarter. Let's look into the sentence in more details. The correct sentence is built by using an article the and possessive noun companies. The companies. In typical sentence in English, they should be placed together. Profit is the subject of the sentence, and exceeded expectations is predicate. Last quarter provides additional information about when the event took place. So the correct sentence here is the company's profit exceeded expectations last quarter. The last word in the sentence is quarter. So the correct answer here is F, quarter. Did you figure it out on your own? If you have a better solution or different solution, please make sure to post in comments. This is one of my favorite questions because it tests a variety of different skills on the test. Baseball bat and the ball together cost $1.10. But the bat is $1 more expensive than the ball. How much does the ball cost? You need to select one out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 5 cents. Choice B, $1.05. Choice C, $1. And last but not least, choice D, $2.01. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. The answer to this question is very simple but not obvious. The correct choice here is choice A. The cost of the ball is 5 cents. But how do you get to the correct solution mathematically? Let me teach you the magic trick behind this problem. Let's build a quick equation. The cost of a ball would be X. And since the bat costs $1 more, the cost of the bat would be X plus $1. Now we can take advantage of the fact that the ball and the bat together cost $1.10. Bat plus ball would be equal X plus 1 and would be equal $1.10, which would mean that 2x plus 1 would be equal $1.10. If we simplify, we would find out that 2x equals 10 cents, which basically means 2 ball equals 10 cents, which means that the cost of 1 ball, which means that the X equals 5 cents. That tells us that the cost of the ball is 5 cents and the cost of the bat is $1.05. Let's verify the main condition of this problem. Bat costs $1 more than a ball, which is correct. 5 cents plus $1.05 equals $1.10. And if we subtract $1.05 minus 5 cents, it would be equal to $1. So the correct answer here is choice A. Cost of the ball is 5 cents. Hopefully you've nailed this problem and now know how to solve similar problems on the test. And now I have a surprise question for you to practice your skills. You're presented with the sequence of wizards. You see 3 wizards on the screen and 4th wizard is missing. And you need to find the missing wizard out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can select the next wizard in the sequence. And once ready, make sure to post your answer in comments so I can share with you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here's a very interesting question to test your spatial reasoning skills. You need to find the missing item, question mark, to build a symmetrical shape. And you're presented with the square that has a gap inside and 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can select the right answer. Ready or not, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. What's interesting about this question is that all objects will fit into the gap, but not all combinations are symmetrical. Let me demonstrate this. Let's try choice A. As you can see, it fits perfectly. Let's try choice B, C, and D, and as you can see, they all fit into the gap. So to answer the question correctly, we need to understand what is symmetrical. And the definition of symmetrical objects or shapes is that they have identical halves that mirror each other. And the definition of symmetrical objects or shapes is that they have identical halves that mirror each other. And if we operate using that definition, the only correct answer is choice D. Let's verify this. Let's draw a line in the middle of the final object where we fill the gap. And as you can see, the objects on the left and on the right are the same across the line. Did you come up with the different solution in your calculations? Please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. On this channel, we hear from a lot of people that try to take the test, but then fail it and justify their unpreparedness with a bunch of excuses. The most common excuses are lack of time and lack of resources. Let's look at both of those in more details so you can understand the resemblance with yourself and your own habits and hopefully learn from those and try to avoid these excuses. Number 1 is lack of time. Some individuals feel that they do not have enough time to adequately prepare for the test, especially if they have a busy schedule or other commitments. The best way to overcome the lack of time is to prioritize your task, create and maintain a schedule, use commute time to prepare, and stay focused and get help when you need it. I myself try to set 3 to 5 big goals for the day, try to maintain an effective schedule, or at least I think so, and use my commute time for studies. Number 2 reason, lack of resources. Preparing for an employment assessment test may require certain resources, such as practice tests, study materials, or access to a tutor. Individuals who do not have access to these resources may feel at the disadvantage. The best way to overcome this issue is to use free resources, do your own research, join person or online study group, and stay positive throughout the process to avoid being discouraged. For example, I myself always try to use free resources to better understand the challenge, try to understand my limitations, and build my plan on how to improve my weaknesses, and recommend that you do the same. What is your experience in coming up with the excuses to prepare for the assessment test? Please share the most common excuses in comments so all members of the community on this channel can support you and help you to overcome them. And now let's continue to get you ready for the assessment test. Here's a very interesting question where you're presented with the sequence of wizards and you need to select the next wizard in the sequence. You have 4 possible choices to make a correct selection. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can pause this video and come up with the right solution. On my end, I am moving forward because I can't wait to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. You're probably tired hearing on this channel, but you need to always look for patterns, especially when trying to solve these types of challenges. And even though all wizards might look the same, if you look closely, you will see three pattern-defining elements. The first one is the color of the wizard's head star circles. You see that the color of the circle goes from yellow to blue, then to yellow, which means that the next one in the pattern should be blue. The next pattern-defining element is the sequence of buttons on wizard's jacket. Let's try to follow the yellow button. For the first wizard, it's in the position number 3. In the second wizard, the button moves to the position number 4. Then it restarts the circle, and in the third wizard, it's in the position number 1. Which means that the next position for the button should be position number 2. What's interesting, if we look at the possible answers, both choices B and D so far match our criteria. They have blue circles on the wizard's head, as well as yellow button in the second position. So as you might have guessed, there's a third element which defines the pattern. And this element is the number of points on the star. We have two types of stars here, 5-point star, pentagrams, and sixagram, which is a 6-point star. If we look closely, we see that the first two wizards have pentagrams. Then the third wizard has hexagram, which means that the fourth wizard should also have a hexagram. Based on this, the correct choice here is choice B. Did you get to the same answer? Please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. And now I have a surprise question for you to practice your skills. You're presented with 3x3 diamond that contains shapes inside as well as the numbers. There are also numbers on the outside. Starting with 9 o'clock, the numbers are 39, 39, 33, 26, 21, 46, 26, 27, and 39. You need to calculate values of the shapes, and you have 4 possible choices. For choice A, circle, heart, star, and the diamond would match 8, 7, 6, and 10. For choice B, the same shapes would match 9, 7, 5, and 12. For choice C, they would match 10, 9, 8, and 7. And if you choose choice D, the answers would be 9, 7, 8, and 10. Take a close look to see if you can complete the calculations and select the right answer. Once ready, make sure to post your answer in comments so I can share with you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. A very interesting question for you to try your skills. You're presented with 9 letters of the English alphabet and you need to build English business word. The letters are O-L-S, U-O-T, I-N-S. Take a close look to see if you can construct English business word. I am going to give you a quick hint. The word refers to a set of products, services, and strategies that are designed to solve specific business problems and meet the needs of organizations. Did you figure it out? The answer is solutions. Business solutions are typically developed by vendors or service providers who have expertise in particular industry or functional area. The word is spelled as S-O-L-U-T-I-O-N-S. And the goal of business solutions is to help organizations improve their efficiency, productivity, profitability, and overall performance by addressing specific challenges or opportunities in a strategic and effective manner. Can you come up with any other words using the same letters only once? If you did, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Here's the very interesting question which tests your analytical reasoning and spatial reasoning skills. You're presented with 3 equations. Each equation has some unusually looking chopped objects. In the third equation, the final result of the calculation is missing and represented as a question mark. You need to determine what item replaces the question mark. And you have 4 different choices. Choice A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can complete the calculations. Are you ready? because I am moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. What's interesting about this question is that items in the equation contain pieces of the puzzle, but final piece of the puzzle, which represents complete object, is missing. Let's look at the example. The first set of objects represent a tree, but we do not see the final piece. In fact, if we rearrange the objects and combine them, we will create an equation which we typically see in our minds. 3 pieces of the tree create a complete piece of the final tree. The same is true for the second object, which represents an apple. If we rearrange and combine the objects, we will get a very good-looking apple. Same is true for the third object, which represents a coffee cup with the coffee beans. If we rearrange the objects and select the correct choice, which is choice C, we will get a complete picture in our mind of coffee cup and coffee beans. Did you figure it out? Please post your experiences of solving this interesting and unusual question in comments. And now I have a surprise question for you. You're presented with the maze, which misses one section. You need to complete the maze by selecting 1 out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can find the missing piece. And once ready, make sure to post your answer in comments so I can share with you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here's an amazing question to test your analytical skills and spatial reasoning. You're presented with the 3/4 of the circle, and you need to find the missing quarter. You have to select the missing item out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look at the colors, look at other elements to see if you can come up with the solution. Are you ready? I'm going to move forward and share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. If you're a frequent visitor to this channel, which you probably are, you were well aware that to solve these types of challenges, you need to understand the pattern. And the pattern here is that with each clockwise move, color segment moves to the outside. Let's look at the example. For 3 segments that we see on the screen, let's assign the clock values. For example, we will have 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 10 o'clock sections. Now, let's take a close look at the green section at 5 o'clock. When we move to 7 o'clock section, it becomes second from the outside. And when we move to the 10 o'clock section, it becomes the most outside section. But color moving to the outside is not the only pattern here. The second pattern is that with each clockwise move, number of dots in each section alternates between 3 and 4, but only on the most outside segments. Let's take a close look. If you look at the yellow segment at 5 o'clock, you see that there are 3 dots. Then we move at the 7 o'clock segment, and you see that the blue one has 4 dots. Next one, green segment, has 3 dots again, which means that the missing section should have 4 dots. Knowing these 2 patterns, let's select the missing section. If we follow the pink segment in the 7 o'clock section, you see that it's in the 3rd position. When we move to 10 o'clock section, it's in the 2nd position, which means that in the missing segment, it should be in the most outside position. There are 3 choices that match this logic. Choices A, C, and D. All of them have pink segment on the outside, but only choice A has 4 dots on the outside. So the correct answer is choice A. Did you get to the same solution? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. Most likely, you will not be able to pass the test without getting a question similar to this one. You're presented with the 3 sets of numbers. Each set has 3 numbers in the group, and 1 number is missing. The first set has numbers 6, 4, and 34. The second set has numbers 8, 5, and 53. And the last set has numbers 9, 2, and the final last number in the third set is missing. You need to calculate the missing number and select it out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 34. Choice B, 29. Choice C, 63. Choice D, 41. take a close look to see if you can complete the calculations. I'm going to give you a quick hint. See if there's a relationship between the top two numbers and the bottom number. But this is about as much as I'm gonna give you, because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I think there is a very interesting and unusual pattern here between the top two numbers and the bottom number. In fact, the lower number is calculated as a result of multiplications plus the sum of additions of the upper numbers. Let's look at the example. For example, the first set of numbers is calculated as 6 multiplied by 4 plus sum of 6 and 4, which would equal 24 plus 10 and equals 34. The next set of numbers is calculated as 8 multiplied by 5 plus sum of 8 and 5, which would equal 40 plus 13, which would be equal to 53. This allows us to do the calculations on the final set and the missing number. 9 multiplied by 2 plus the sum of 9 and 2 equals 18 plus 11 and equals 29. So the correct answer here is choice B, 29. Did you figure it out? Please make sure to post your answer and solution if you have a different one in comments. Surprise, surprise! I have a problem for you to solve. You need to find the missing number, and you're presented with 3 expressions. First expression is 13 by 13 equals 16. Second expression is 15 by 15 equals 36. And last expression, 17 by 17 equals the missing number, represented by the question mark. You need to calculate and select the missing number out of 4 different choices. Choice A, 56. Choice B, 64. Choice C, 72. And choice D, 81. Take a close look, maybe pause this video for 10 to 15 seconds to see if you can calculate the solution. Once you're ready, please make sure to post your answer in comments. This would allow me to give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck solving this challenge. Here's a phenomenal question where you need to determine the next item in the sequence. You're presented with the series of squares. Each square has different shapes inside. 3 squares do have shapes, and the 4th square is missing, and you need to select it out of 4 possible choices. The choices are A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can identify the missing item. Did you figure it out? See if you need to pause this video to get more time and solve the solution. Because on my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. If you take a close look at the shapes inside the square, each shape has a position 1, 2, and 3, going from left to right. You can also notice that there are 3 different shapes inside the boxes: a filled circle, a white circle, and a diamond. Another important consideration is that the colors of the circles do not change. But unlike colors of the circles, the color of the diamond changes from filled to empty and then from empty to filled. You can also notice that all shapes shift 1 position to the left. The first shape becomes the last, then changes position to the middle, and then back to the first position. Now, as you learned about the pattern, you can calculate that the answer here is choice B. Hopefully you've nailed this question on your own and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. And now here's a surprise question for you to try your skills. Instead of giving you the answer, I'm going to ask you to calculate the answer and post your solution in comments. You're presented with 4 shapes. 3 shapes are fully populated with numbers, and the 4th shape has the middle number missing. You need to detect the pattern and calculate the missing number out of 4 different choices. Choice A, 22, choice B, 23, choice C, 25, and then last but not least, choice D, 24. Take a close look to see if you can do the calculations. And once ready, please make sure to post your answer in comments. This would allow me to share with you the final answer and give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck solving this challenge. Calculating missing items is one of my favorite questions, especially considering the fact that calculations are very simple. You're presented with two rows of values. The first row contains values 1, C, 5, and then comes the missing value. In the second row contains values A, 3, E, and then comes the missing value. You need to select the calculated combination out of 4 different choices. Choice A, G7. Choice B, B3. Choice C, F6. And last but not least, choice D, H8. Take a close look to see if you can do the calculations. Consider pausing the video to better understand the question, because on my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to show in comments. I believe the correct answer here is choice A, G7. And here's why. I see the pattern that every letter here is skipped. Let's take a look. If we start with the bottom letter A, then comes letter B, but then we see letter C in the second column. Then comes letter D, which is skipped, and then we see the letter E, which means that the letter F will be skipped, and we will see the letter G. Same is true for the numbers, because only odd numbers are displayed. We see numbers 1, 3, and 5. Numbers 2, 4, and 6 are skipped, which means that the missing number is 7. This is why I believe the correct choice here is choice A, G7. Did you figure it out? Or maybe you have a better solution? Please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. This is one of my favorite questions because it tests a variety of different skills in the test. Baseball bat and the ball together cost $1.10. But the bat is $1 more expensive than the ball. How much does the ball cost? You need to select one out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 5 cents. Choice B, $1.05. Choice C, $1. And last but not least, choice D, $2.01. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. The answer to this question is very simple but not obvious. The correct choice here is choice A. The cost of the ball is 5 cents. But how do you get to the correct solution mathematically? Let me teach you the magic trick behind this problem. Let's build a quick equation. The cost of a ball would be X. And since the bat costs $1 more, the cost of the bat would be X plus $1. Now we can take advantage of the fact that the ball and the bat together cost $1.10. Bat plus ball would be equal X plus 1 and would be equal $1.10, which would mean that 2x plus 1 would be equal $1.10. If we simplify, we would find out that 2x equals 10 cents, which basically means 2 ball equals 10 cents, which means that the cost of 1 ball, which means that the x equals 5 cents. That tells us that the cost of the ball is 5 cents and the cost of the bat is $1.05. Let's verify the main condition of this problem. Bat costs $1 more than a ball, which is correct. 5 cents plus $1.05 equals $1.10. And if we subtract $1.05 minus 5 cents, it would be equal to $1. So the correct answer here is choice A. Cost of the ball is 5 cents. Hopefully you've nailed this problem and now know how to solve similar problems on the test. I get a lot of questions on how assessment tests are used in the hiring process. I would like to highlight 3 important areas companies use assessment tests. They use them for hiring and employment decisions. For example, hiring manager or HR might choose to test the candidate before hiring them to ensure candidate is a good fit for the position. Second way to use it is grow talent inside the organization. For example, some companies use the test before making hiring decisions to promote the candidate. And last but not least, the third way to use it is to determine levels of motivation. For example, if your company is looking to implement a new system or technology, it might be helpful to assess people on their interests and motivation related to this technology. And now let's continue and get you ready for the test. Here's a phenomenal question where you need to find the missing number. You're presented with almost 3x3 shape, which contains evergreen trees, numbers, and the question mark. Based on what you see, you need to calculate the missing number. and you have 4 different choices. Choice A, 2. Choice B, 7. Choice C, 3. And choice D, 4. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the logic and the answer. On my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, what we see on the picture are mathematical expressions. For example, the sum of 2 evergreen trees is tree, which is represented by the top row. The same is true for the middle column. Sum of 2 evergreen trees equals to 6, which means that 1 evergreen tree equals to 3. Now we can calculate the missing number, which would be the result of 5 minus 3, which would be equal to 2. So the correct answer here is choice A, 2. Did you come up with the different answer? Please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. To get ready for an assessment test, you want to make sure that you practice with the tests that most accurately resemble the actual assessment. This is why we partnered with the best vendor in the industry, Job Test Prep, known for accuracy in their practice assessments. Job Test Prep tests are designed to simulate the actual employment assessment used by many companies. One of the key advantages of using Job Test Prep tests is that they closely mirror the format, content, and difficulty level of the actual assessment tests. To start practicing using Job Test Prep assessments, please type the link in your browser howtoanalyzedata.net/jobtestprep or use links in the description of this video. And now let's continue to get you ready for the assessment test. Here's the problem some people might find challenging, but in reality, it's very easy to solve. You're presented with the circle broken down into 8 sections. In each section, there is a number, and in one section, number is missing, and you need to calculate the missing number. If we start with the 8 o'clock, the numbers that are present are 39, 5, 9, 8, 13, 15, 3, and then comes the missing number. You need to calculate the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 20. Choice B, 24. Choice C, 30. And choice D, 36. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can calculate the solution. I hope you did it successfully and have your selection, because I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I believe the correct answer is choice B, 24. And here's why. I think the number on the opposite sides of the circle sections are 3 times larger than the numbers on the other side. Let's take a close look. For example, the numbers on the opposite sides of the 5 o'clock section and 10 o'clock sections are 3 and 9. And 9 is 3 times larger than 3. The next set of numbers is 5 and 15. And 5 multiplied by 3 equals 15. The next set is 13 and 39. And obviously, if you multiply 13 by 3, you will get to 39. Let's take a look at the missing number. Because number 8, which is on the opposite section, cannot be a result of multiplication of any number by 3, this means that the missing number is a result of 8 multiplied by 3 equals 24. This is why I think the correct answer here is choice B, 24. Did your calculations lead you to the same answer? If they didn't, please make sure to share your answer and solution in comments. Improving your pattern recognition skills is the key to pass the test. It will help you to solve problems faster and better understand the test format. It also enhances your critical thinking skills and boosts your confidence. There are many different types of numerical patterns, each one with the unique characteristics and applications. Let me give you some examples of the most common numerical patterns. One of the most popular patterns is arithmetic sequence. The arithmetic sequence is the sequence of numbers where each term is obtained by adding a fixed number called the common difference to the previous term. For example, numbers 2, 5, 8, 11, 14 represent arithmetic sequence with a common difference of 3. Number 2 on the list would be geometric sequence. A geometric sequence is a sequence of numbers where each term is obtained by multiplying the previous term by a fixed number called a common ratio. Let's look at the example. Numbers 2, 4, 8, 16, and 32 represent geometric sequence with a common ratio of 2. And last but not least on my list is Fibonacci sequence. Fibonacci sequence is a sequence of numbers where each term is obtained by adding the two previous terms together, starting with 0. For example, the first 10 terms in the Fibonacci sequence would be 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, and 34. Do you know any other interesting numerical patterns I didn't mention here? Please make sure to post them in comments so we can all learn. And now let's continue and get you ready for the assessment test. Here's a tricky problem which you might find challenging to solve. You're presented with 3 images and you need to find the missing number. All 3 images have berms and evergreen trees on top of the berms. First 2 of the images have numbers 15 and 50 at the bottom, and the third image is missing the number and instead has a question mark, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 74. Choice B, 98. Choice C, 109. And last but not least, choice D, 117. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the solution. On my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have calculated, the correct answer here is choice D, 117. Let's take a close look why. If you take a close look at the images, you will see that each image contains trees, each tree contains a certain number of branches, and trees are placed on the berms. The pattern is calculated as number of trees multiplied by number of branches on the trees, and you incrementally add the number of berms to calculate the number at the bottom. Let's look closely at each one of the images. First image has 2 trees with 7 branches and 1 berm, and the calculation would be 2 multiplied in parentheses 3 plus 4 plus 1, which would be an equivalent of 14 plus 1 equals 15. Second image has 4 trees with 12 branches and 2 berms, and the calculations will be 4 multiplied in parentheses 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2, and then you add 2 to the calculated value. The end result of this calculation for image 2 will be 50. For the third image, which has 6 trees with 19 branches and 3 berms, the calculations will be 6 multiplied 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, and then you add 3 to the calculated total. The end result of it, 117. Do you have a better solution to solve this challenge? Please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. I have a surprise for you. You need to solve the expression and find the missing number. You have 3 full expressions. Glove plus glove equals 20. Glove plus 2 socks equals 38. Glove plus sock plus hat equals 39. And the last expression where you need to calculate the missing number is hat multiplied by sock plus glove equals the missing number. So what is the missing number? You need to calculate and select out of 4 different choices. Choice A, 135. Choice B, 220. Choice C, 165. And choice D, 360. Do you know the answer? Once you calculate it, please make sure to post it in comments. This would allow me to give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here's an amazing question to test your math skills. You need to calculate the value by multiplying the number of coins in the cent clock by the number of dollar signs at the top and at the bottom. And calculations should be one of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 190. Choice B, 200. Choice C, 210. And choice D, 230. Take a close look, maybe do mental math to see if you can come up with the solution. The key here, though, is not to overthink it. To solve it correctly, we need to count the coins. Let's start by counting coins at the top. There should be 7 coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. there are 8 coins at the bottom. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And there are $7 signs at the top and $7 signs at the bottom. So the total calculation would be 15 coins multiplied by $14 signs, and the total would be 210. So the correct answer here is choice C, 210. Did you solve it on your own? Please make sure to share your experiences in comments. A lot of viewers on this channel ask me how to increase their IQ scores. Even though methods might be different from person to person, let me share with you 3 ways that help me to stay in shape. I love listening to classical music. I believe that this helps improve your analytical skills as well as spatial reasoning skills. Also, I like playing sports and I go to the gym to do vigorous exercises. I think this helps me to increase oxygen levels in the blood as well as to keep your brain more active. After a certain age, staying active helps you to increase your reactions as well as IQ. And last but not least, I like to stay hydrated. I drink a lot of green tea, Earl Grey tea, coffee, and vitamin water throughout the day to help me stay energized. You can use these tips to prepare specifically for the test or to change your daily habits and stay sharper day after day. Do you have tips of your own on how to keep your brain in shape? Please make sure to share in comments so we can all learn. And now let's continue and get you ready for the test. Here's a puzzling question which you might find difficult to solve, but the solution is really simple. You're presented with 4 scales, and you need to calculate the missing number. First scale contains 3 pentagons on the left and number 90 on the right. Second scale contains 1 pentagon and 2 bagels on the left and number 50 on the right. Third scale contains 2 pentagons, 1 circle and 1 bagel on the left and number 90 on the right. And then the last scale contains 1 pentagon, 1 circle and 2 bagels on the left and then missing number on the right. You need to select the missing number out of 4 different choices. Choice A, 60. Choice B, 65. Choice C, 70. And then choice D, 75. Take a close look to see if you can do the calculations and come up with the right solution. On my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I think the key to solve this challenge is to understand what is being asked. You see shapes on the left of the scale and the number on the right, which means that the combination of the shapes is equal to the number. To solve the problem, you need to go from scale to scale and calculate the shape's value. Let's start with the scale 1. It has 3 pentagons on the left and number 90 on the right, which means that each pentagon has a value of 30. Second scale contains 1 pentagon and then 2 bagels, and the combination of these shapes equals number 50. We already know the value of pentagon, which is 30. All we need to do is divide the remainder of the calculations 50 minus 30, which equals to 20, by 2, because there are 2 bagels, and calculate the value of bagel, which is 10. On the next scale, we have 2 pentagons, 1 circle, and 1 bagel, and the combination of these shapes equals to 90. Let's do the math. 30 plus 30, which is the value of 2 pentagons, plus 10 equals 70, which means that the circle equals 90 minus 70, which equals to 20. Now we know the values of all the shapes. Pentagon equals 30, bagel equals 10, and then circle equals 20, and we can calculate the missing number. 30 plus 20 plus 10 plus 10 equals 70, which means the correct answer is choice C, 70. Did you come up with the same solution? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. Here's one of my favorite questions, which requires you to use your critical skills and imagination. You need to find the missing number, and you're presented with 3 different expressions. First expression is 13 multiplied by 13 equals 16. Second expression is 15 multiplied by 15 equals 36. And last expression, the one that's missing the number, is 17 multiplied by 17 equals missing number. You have 4 different choices to select from. Choice A, 56. Choice B, 64. Choice C, 72. And choice D, 81. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the answer. Did you figure it out? The answer is so simple, so when you learn it, you'll be very surprised. Because the correct answer, choice B, 64, is calculated very easily. The pattern here is that instead of using traditional numbers in calculations, you need to add the digits and then multiply them to get to the correct solution. So let's look at the first expression. 13 multiplied by 13 equals 16. In reality, you need to sum up 1 plus 3, then multiply at another expression 1 plus 3, which would be 4 multiplied by 4, which would be equal 16. For second expression, you need to add in parentheses 1 plus 5, multiplied another expression in parentheses 1 plus 5, would be equal 6 multiplied by 6, which would be equals 36. To calculate final expression, you need to add 1 plus 7, which would be equal to 8, multiplied by another expression 1 plus 7, which would be equal to 8 multiplied by 8, and it would be equal to choice B, 64. What was your experience solving this challenge? Please describe in comments. And if you're getting ready for the assessment test and need to get prepared, please make sure to check out the link to the ebook in the description of this video. As you might be well aware, the fastest way to learn and prepare for the test is by doing hands-on practice exercises. This is why we prepared practice materials for you to download so you can learn faster. All you need to do is to navigate to howtoanalyzedata.net/resources. You can type this link directly in your browser or follow the link in the description of this video. Thank you for your endorsement, support, and patronage. And now, let's continue to get you ready for the test. Let's look at the very interesting question, which really makes you think. You're presented with 3 shapes, and the 4th shape is missing. You need to select the missing shape out of 4 different choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look at the pattern of shapes to see if you can come up with the solution. On my end, I'm not gonna delay it, and I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you think differently, please make sure to share your answer in comments. As you might have guessed, the key is to define the pattern. And pattern consists of multiple elements. Pattern-defining items are circles, triangle, and checks. They look like Latin symbol V. If you look closely at the outer circle, it's filled with triangles and those checks, which are moving clockwise. The inner circle also has smaller circles inside. Let's name our items in the original pattern as item 1, item 2, item 3, and then the missing item we will name item 4. This will help us to define the pattern. Number of circles increments by 1 in items 1 through 3. For example, item 1 has 2 circles, item 2 has 3 circles, 1, 2, and 3, and then item 3 has 4 circles, which means that item 4 should have 5 circles. Well, guess what? I was so excited to select the final answer just based on this finding, but then I noticed that all choices A, B, C, and D, they all have 5 small circles inside, which leads us to conclusion that number of checks between triangles defines the final answer. If you look closely, number of checks alternates from 2 in item 1 to 3 in item 2, then back to 2 in item 3, and should probably be 3 in item number 4. This is why the correct answer is choice B, because it has 3 checks in between triangles. Let's look at why other choices are incorrect. Choice A only has 2 checks in between triangles. Choice C has a pattern of 9 checks in between 2 triangles at the top and at the bottom. And choice D has a pattern of 2 triangles going one after another in between the checks. So this is my version, and if you have a better solution, please don't hesitate and make sure to share it in comments. And in case you're getting ready for the test, please make sure to check the links in the description of this video for additional resources. I love this question because what's happening here is so unusual. We need to calculate the missing number. And we need to do it in the ball that's in the middle of the sequence. We see the ball that's rolling from the top of the stairs to the bottom of the stairs. And as it rolls, it changes the color inside, and it changes the number. In the top position, it's a green ball inside, and it has the numbers 578269. Then as it rolls, it becomes a blue ball, and the numbers change to 287515. Then it becomes the yellow ball with the missing number. As it continues, the numbers we see are 8758 in the pink ball. As it rolls, we see the brown ball with the numbers 7813. And then as it continues to roll to the last step, it's a purple ball with the numbers 874 inside. We need to calculate the missing number and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 28962. Choice B, 57891. Choice C, 28421. And last but not least, choice D, 57826. Take a close look to see if you can complete the calculations. And on my side, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I believe the correct answer here is choice D, 57826. To understand why, let's look at the pattern. As ball rolls from first position to the second, and we transform from digits 578269 to digits 287515, we need to understand the logic. As you might have suspected, the colors are not used in the pattern, and they're there just to deceive you. Only numbers are important. And to complete the transformational pattern, we need to do it in 3 steps. Step 1. We need to exclude 2 digits on the right and reverse the order of the remaining digits. For example, original number is 5782 and then 2 digits 69. We separate 69 and then reverse the order, and number becomes 2875, and then we do remaining calculations with the numbers 6 and 9. And the calculations are very simple. We basically add 6 plus 9, and end result of it is 15. Then we concatenate 2875 and 15. So the end resulting number is 287515. As ball continues rolling, we repeat the calculations and get to the answer of D, 57826. The answer is very obvious, but only if you know it, or guess it, as we would have to do in our case. Ready or not, I would like to move forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. If you know letters of the English alphabet, the next logical choice would be letter E, because after A, B, C, and D comes letter E. But choice E is not on the list. But using a little bit of creativity, you can assemble a letter E by combining a dash, which is already in place, with already available choice of letter F. So the correct choice here is answer F. Hopefully you've nailed this question on your own, got a little bit of laugh, and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. If you find the content of the channel helpful, you can help us by becoming a member. For example, if you're getting ready for employment test and might wonder how you can download the value pack, we'll give you one reason to download and save. And this is by becoming a YouTube member. For example, if you become Platinum member, you can download Employment Assessment Test Preparation Bundle. We also frequently publish exclusive content for members only to help you stay sharp and get ready for the test. To become a member, all you need to do is to navigate to howtoanalyzedata.net/membership. You can type the link directly in your browser or follow the link in the description of this video. Thank you for your endorsement, support, and patronage. And now let's continue and get you ready for the test. Here's the very unusual question, which tests your analytical skills, pattern recognition skills, as well as spatial reasoning. You're presented with 3 very unusual shapes. You have a rainbow consisting of 4 sections on the top and then 5 squares at the bottom of this shape. Each shape has a unique set of different colors. You need to detect the pattern and based on that recognize shape number 4 out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. This is one of the tough questions. If you're having troubles, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the solution. On my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my thought process and my solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. When I was describing this question, I gave you a tip. This object is broken down into two parts. The rainbow section has its own pattern, and the series of squares at the bottom has its own pattern. So there are two patterns here in this shape, but detecting one is not enough. You have to detect both patterns. To make things easier, let's focus on the bottom pattern first. Let's focus on the squares. If you look closely and focus on the green square, you see that in the sequence 1 shape, green square in the position number 5. And in sequence 2 object, it moves to the position number 1. And all other objects shift to the right. If we continue to follow green square, you see that in the sequence number 3 object, the green square in the position number 2. So if we continue this logic, that green square should be in the position number 3, in the middle of all squares. But guess what? If you look at the possible choices, you see that in all 4 choices, choices A, B, C, and D, green square is in the middle. So this is not much help. This is why to get to the correct solution, we need to focus on the top sections of the rainbow. And if you look closely at the top sections, you see that there are 4 colors, 1 color per each section of the rainbow, colors 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if we compare sequence 1 and sequence 2 objects, you can see closely that the sections of the rainbow continuously move to the inside. For example, let's follow the red section of the rainbow, which is present on the outside in the sequence 1. You see that in the sequence 2, this is the second from the outside section, and then in the sequence 3, it becomes third section on the inside. So to find the correct solution, we need to look for the red section being the most inside section of the rainbow, which matches choice D. This was a very tough challenge. Hopefully you've nailed this one and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. Here's one of my favorite questions where you test your mental skills as well as attention to details. You're presented with a series of equations and you need to calculate the missing number. The first equation is glove plus glove equals 20. Second equation is glove plus 2 socks equals 38. Third equation is glove plus sock plus hat equals 39. And then the final equation where you have the missing number is 1 hat multiplied by 1 sock plus 1 glove equals the missing number. You need to calculate and select the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 135. Choice B, 220. Choice C, 165. And choice D, 360. Take a close look to see if you can use your mental powers to calculate the missing number. On my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And if you have a better way to solve it by using your mental powers, please make sure to share in comments. Obviously, to solve this challenge, you need to find the numbers associated with each object. You need to find the numbers for glove, for sock, and for the hat. Let's look at each expression in more details. Since 2 gloves equals 20, 1 glove is equal to 10, because 20 divided by 2 equals 10. Let's go to the second expression. 1 glove and 2 socks equals 38. Let's do the math to calculate what's the value of the sock. 38 minus 10, which is the calculated value for 1 glove, and then divided by 2 equals 14, which means that numerical value associated with 1 sock is 14. Let's go to the third expression. 1 glove plus 1 sock plus 1 hat equals 39. We can calculate the value associated with hat. It equals 15, because 39 minus 10 minus 14 equals 15. Now we are ready to calculate the missing number. And to do that, we need to multiply 15 by 14, which would be equal to 10, and add 10. This is the value of hat multiplied by sock plus the value of glove. So the correct answer here is choice B, 220. Do you have a better way to solve it? Please make sure to show your observations and suggestions in comments. Here's the practice question for you to test your skills and knowledge. In this question, I am not going to share with you the solution, but instead I'm going to ask you to solve this challenge on your own and post your answer in comments. This way I can give you my feedback. Take a close look to see if you can find the missing value. Missing value is represented by the question mark in a shape that contains numbers around the shape as well as one number inside. The numbers you see are 12, 42, 129, and then there is a number 3 in the middle. You have 4 different choices to choose from. Choice A, 229. Choice B, 287. Choice C, 352. And then choice D, 390. Take a close look to see if you can recognize the pattern and solve this challenge. And once ready, please make sure to post your answer in comments so I can give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here's an amazing question to test your business math skills. You're presented with the set of numbers in the compass-like figure, and you need to add up all the numbers inside the shapes and then divide the sum by 2. You need to calculate what would be the result of this calculation, and you have 4 different choices. Choice A, 9. Choice B, 12. Choice C, 18. And choice D, 24. Do you see the answer? Give yourself a little bit of time, maybe pause this video and give yourself 10 to 20 seconds to do the calculations. I am pretty sure you figured it out, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The math here is pretty straightforward. You need to do 7 minus 3 plus 9 plus 5 in parentheses and then divide the sum by 2. The result would be 18 divided by 2, which would be equal to 9. And this is my choice for the correct answer. What's interesting about this question is that there's a lot of way to get to the incorrect answer. For example, if you forget to divide by 2, there is an answer for that. Also, if you don't see the negative number and forget to divide by 2, there is a choice for that as well. And if you just forget the negative number, there is a choice for that as well. Which tells me that you have to read the instructions carefully. Hopefully you're one of those people who does it all the time and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you for helping us to become one of the largest YouTube channels to help people become smarter, increase your IQ, and to pass any test. If the content of this video was helpful, please make sure to click the like button to help YouTube algorithm promote this video and help other people to find it faster. Giving us a like is also a way for you to tell us that you need more content like this, and when you tell us, we will deliver it for you in the future. For links to free and premium resources, please check the description and comments of this video. You can also go directly to our website, howtoanalyzedata.net, to download the materials related to this topic. I really appreciate your endorsement, support, and patronage of this channel. And thank you for considering to become a member and considering to subscribe. Please leave feedback, suggestions, or corrections in comments. And all the best on your journey. I'll see you in my next video.